I hate strip clubs.
So do I.
I do not like strip clubs. But I think the only benefit to doing something like that is to watch the other fucking yahoos give money and actually think at the end of the night or at the end of their time that they are going to get something out of it and empty their fucking pockets. I work hard for my fucking money.
There's a study that shows more than 60% of men have not had sex in 1 year.
I believe it. I actually work with 2 of them.
Brother. Brother.
And it astounded me.
Let me tell you something. That is so important. I believe that is so important to you as a man. 60% of men not having sex in a year, that's bad, man. Because now porn and OnlyFans has taken their minds to where, okay, I can get off that easily on this. And I don't have to go out and put forth the effort to try to talk to a girl. Folks, welcome back to UnWoKeN, the #1 podcast in the world for young conservative media. That's a fact. My facts, of course, are the only ones that fucking matter anyway. This is Pappy Morgan. The fucking go-to bouncers.
Hey, short-lived, but
before we get that tremendous introduction for you, we are going to take care of something really serious today. Today, folks, I want this to be a learning lesson for those. Today's going to be a day where cancel culture people get canceled themselves almost in a sense. And I don't believe in taking away free speech from anybody. That's why I laid out that statement for a Kitty and a Cast that you all saw. Well, whenever you're working together with people to reach a common goal, you don't attack that person's friends and family because they think differently than you. And you certainly don't attack a nonprofit business that takes care of mentally handicapped people. So, without mentioning any names, because I'm going to go that route, be a better person than that. You all know him. He has a show on this network that is completely different than mine. I will not give him the platform to give him that name. Even say his name on the show. I'm not even going to fucking say his name on the show.
That just brings it more clout.
So, y'all know who I'm talking about. We were supposed to have a civil debate. And after a long conclusion, this person decided on a Facebook post, because somebody thought differently than him, to try to get this person fired from their job, put pictures of his underage kids online, on the internet, and picked a fight with the wrong people. And today's episode of UnWoKeN is brought to you by Delta 3 Tactical. Delta 3 Tactical has a simple mission. We strive to provide the highest quality parts, rifles, equipment, and offer them at the best possible price. From a gun enthusiast, a competitive 3-gun shooter, or a military or law enforcement professional, our rifles, parts, and equipment will serve you well and won't let you down when it counts. We use and sell the highest quality American-made, listen to that, folks, American-made materials. You will never find inferior imported materials. We just won't allow it. We all love to shoot, just like most of you, and we won't sell anything that we ourselves wouldn't trust our lives on. We have a good time doing what we do, from building to helping answering questions. It is our passion, and we appreciate each and every customer. Please feel free to send us an email if you have any questions regarding AR rifles or products. Thank you for your interest in our company and hope to hear from you soon. And let me tell you something. I have about 5 of these guns at my house, and they're bad fucking ass. So, in a day and age where we live in this cancel culture era, you have to think to yourself, what are you willing to stand up for? Because that defines who you are as a person. Are you willing to die on that hill? I am. Cancel culture people aren't. That's why I am where I am. And you're sitting behind on that keyboard wherever the fuck you are. Or wherever the hell you are. That's why you won't come sit in this chair. None of you will.
It's 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
20, if that.
You can tell, man, I'm a little heated about this because I take this personally. If you're going to take my kindness and mistreat it like that, one, I'm fine with y'all attacking me. Go ahead. All my stuff is public. Come at me. That's what I do. I say shit that allows you to come at me. Attack me. Don't attack somebody's family, because that's where you're stepping over a line. And family includes friends, because blood doesn't mean family. Never has. Well, I'm trying to keep it all together right now, gentlemen. Ooh, I'm heated. All right. They asked me what my thoughts were on people who use gender-neutral pronouns. So I said, seriously, they were the sperm that won? These people walk around trying to normalize a psychological disorder, which it is a psychological disorder, and then try to indoctrinate it into today's youth. Look, I'm a patient human being, but not with those who are proud of their stupidity. Some people just need a stamp on their forehead that says, do not reproduce. I firmly believe that. So, after that happened, Mr. decides to comment. I thought it was a pretty funny thread, you know. Like I said, y'all give the people the benefit of the doubt. He proceeds to comment about how they, them pronouns, whatever the fuck you want to say, they, them. It's not that hard to say. Well, the CEO of LARC, here at the Acadian Village, comments the same thing I said. It is legally classified as a psychological disorder. Mr. decides to go ahead and post a picture of this man's kids. He calls Human Resources at the Acadian Village, files a complaint saying that this man has the potential to discriminate against homosexual people in the hiring process. Says he is a transphobic human being, then proceeds to call ARC the official association for retarded citizens. Guess what? The CEO, the director of LARC, is on the board. On the board. Guess what? It's a family of lawyers. You just posted underage children on a Facebook page. That's defamation, that's slander. And you know what? He doesn't want to do anything to get you canceled. Man, I just really want to ask you, what's going through your mind? What is going through people's minds that you think you're so righteous to go ahead and try to cancel somebody? This network, my platform, will always be used for people to speak freely. It's never going to change. I don't care if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if we sing Kumbaya, if we get in a screaming match, that's fine. I don't ever want your freedom of speech to be taken away from you, and I would defend that to the end. Why can't we just disagree with each other while saying, you know what, I disagree where you stand, but I would defend your right to say it every time? What's so hard about saying that?
Because they have to be right.
Oh, bruh. But the fact that you attack somebody's family and friends, dude, that's that debate that we were supposed to have for a charity event, it's not happening. I refuse to do a show and give somebody a platform to sit down and try to express their views and try to persuade me to see things from their level. I refuse to give you that ability, man. By the way, you know what transgender people, you call people transphobic who make fun of the gender-neutral pronouns. Have you ever asked a transgender person who got their cock chopped off what they feel about gender-neutral pronouns? They don't like them. You know why? Because they went the extra mile to be able to be called that. You got a beard, and you want to be called her. This ain't the Ringling Brothers Traveling Circus, son. You can't be the first bearded woman. Okay? It doesn't work like that.
Second, Guinness Book got it.
Guinness Book got it?
Yeah.
How long was the beard?
It's pretty legit. Give me and you a run for money.
It's a nice beard.
Yeah.
So, attack me, people. Look, I'm going to say it one more time. If you have a problem with what I say, come at me. But I really do suggest you sit in the chair. Carter got 4 microphones. Literally, that could be 3 of y'all. We can have a show where I'll be just sitting right here. All 3 of y'all. I'm fine with that. But don't attack a man's friends and family. Ever. You don't do shit like that. You're people attacking mobs. You attack behind a keyboard, behind a screen. You're scared of conflict. Hell, you don't even believe in yourself. Sit in the chair. The next one who wants to comment, come sit in the fucking chair. Until then, shut the fuck up, you weak, pathetic keyboard warriors. So, after that statement, folks, let's introduce Mr. Pappy Morgan. Pappy, thanks for sitting there for that one.
Appreciate it.
Man, I tell you what, that actually, I didn't say, I was on the way here, I was like, oh, I'm about to say fuck more than I have ever said fuck in the span of 5 minutes in my life.
It's all right.
And I didn't do it. So.
No, you did real good.
There might be a higher power.
There most definitely is.
There might be.
There most definitely is a higher power, and I don't think that was what held you back from it.
No.
That was
I think it was more I think it was more dude, for the first time in my life, and I'm very good about just woosah.
That was a great
Woosah. I'm like all
great
about
show
woosah.
of self-control right there.
Yeah.
Cognizant, very aware.
I think I got all of it out on my way here whenever I was jamming to listen to some ASAP Rocky, like old ASAP.
Yes.
And then I threw on some Prophets of Rage and Disturbed. So yeah, man.
Ooh.
And plus I was outside all day working on houses. So I mean I got to hit a few things.
Yeah. Well, if you got it all out right there, then
I didn't.
No.
No, I really wasn't able to. I didn't really say everything I wanted to say because I thought I'd be able to do it that a little bit more calmer. It's just one of those things where, we're going to call it like we see it. You're blocked from all my social media. And from here on out, I'll find out. The biggest thing is I want people to know that I will find out if they try to block or try to cancel people. The thing about being nice and defending everybody's freedom of speech and always having people on different sides, knowing that you respect their right to say things, they let you know things because they know people.
If somebody came at you from that perspective, wouldn't you have the utmost respect for them in their beliefs if they did the things that you're suggesting? I'm not saying that you're suggesting to them to take as an approach towards you or towards anyone in that manner. Respect me enough to sit in front of me. Respect me enough to talk to me about it and say what's on your mind, and I'm going to have all the utmost respect for you. We can have all the crosswords that we want, but when you get behind the keyboard and you start dishing out everything that you want, over the keyboard or even over a telephone through a call, it still doesn't get out everything, because I'm a firm believer people will not, when you come face to face, you come eyeball to eyeball and actually look at someone in the eye, because I'm a firm believer, the old homage of a handshake. Okay, you look at them in the eye when you shake a man's hand, no matter what it is. Wouldn't you have the utmost more respect for them? Probably still be willing to do the benefit if he had just the slightest, I don't know whether it's audacity, nerve, or common sense, or whatever you want to call it, to come and sit right here and talk about it. Absolutely. Instead of everything that you say, and anybody else like you or us. Okay, I have limited political views, okay, but I have my beliefs that I stand by. And come at me too, I'm cool with that.
But you stand by it.
But I'll stand by it, okay? That and I say him, anybody in the near future, or anybody in the past, if they do that, you would have the utmost respect, and that's the way that if they want to get their word out and they want to get their point, to do the same thing, and in turn, they'll be given respect. It might actually get them somewhere in their mind or in their particular beliefs if they would approach things that way, instead of it seems like it's the same thing over and over and over, though, when you deal with that type of argument, that it has to be theirs. So if you put yours out there, you're wrong. You're right. It's going to be an argument no matter what.
Well, not necessarily, because the whole thing with that is, if they even show, we just talked about this outside, people who are moderate Democrats and liberals, they are being ostracized. So cancel culture is basically modern ostracization. That is basically what it is. The moment you say, like Bill Maher says, all right, kids should not be getting taught about sexual orientation. I can even agree to that.
Myself.
As liberal as Bill Maher is, he said he can agree to that. I don't believe they should be taught it at all. But he has been now framed as a right-wing Republican, and he is not. He's the furthest thing from a right-wing Republican.
But whenever you say one thing that goes against
the mob,
the mob, that's a good way to put it, okay? I'm trying not to step on toes disrespectfully. Not that I'm worried about
past
shit,
that
just
point.
disrespectful.
We're past that point now.
Because my Facebook's going to blow up now, and I'm fine with that. But
yeah. Let me get this one point across. I said this the other day. You know what? I do want to bring this up, because now I can actually get it out after hearing this soothing man talk. You see how Big Swole, he just soothes everybody. De-escalates the situation.
That's what I do. I'm a de-escalator.
That's your de-escalator right there.
Okay, it comes with the job.
No, that's one of the things that, why I started clowning this gender pronoun, why I'm so openly against the LGBT movement now. I support I was open to one of the first Republicans. Well, I wasn't one of the first. I was actually really against it. I actually finally started to show a little bit of sympathy and say, you know what, fuck it. Whoever wants to get married, let them get married. It's people like Matthew who take a person like me who has recently took a lot out of me to be able to accept people for who they are. And now you are closing them off. You are now representing them and causing people like me to say, were we too accepting of this movement to begin with? Because I'm starting to say, you know what? Maybe this cancel culture thing is our fault. And I do believe to the degree it is our fault. Because what happens if we would have just stopped, processed what was going on, and said, you know what? Anytime somebody tries to cancel somebody, just tell them to shut the fuck up and move on. No. But you allow people in Hollywood who have big clout to start apologizing. They start apologizing the moment. Why are you apologizing? I mean, Dave Chappelle, who might be the greatest comic in our generation, not of all time,
our generation. I really like him. Not to get off side, really like him. I'll compare him to the Richard Pryors of the generation before us.
All right, so I think I'm a little too young to remember Richard Pryor.
Oh, Richard Pryor was okay. So you coming up, it would have been Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, Delirious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Delirious. So you take that. So Richard Pryor was head and shoulders. I mean, Eddie Murphy credits all of his success and past dues and everything to specifically Richard Pryor. I mean, it's always accredited to the the good ones.
Yeah,
I'm talking about comedians and no matter anything. You're accredited to the people who started it, who made the movement before you and started this, started that. It goes to athletes, it goes to doctors, lawyers, anything. And he accredited.
And you had people like Lenny Bruce, who back in the day was getting arrested.
Yeah.
For speaking his mind or just trying to tell jokes.
Lenny Bruce was really, he was one of those that I think the arrest things came from the extracurricular activities but he was so brilliant in his thoughts. But between him and Richard Pryor, I'd have to say. So, yeah, not to get off subject, but Dave Chappelle, because of his originality and the diversity that he speaks with across the board, no matter what it is, he's one of the ones that he's played the political game, but he's played it like a chess game.
Well, speaking of playing the political game, but the political game, for one, though, is the dirtiest game of all time.
Most definitely.
I mean, straight up.
I don't think anybody would a keen sense of mind, I don't care where you stand, would disagree with that.
But I do want to ask Carter. Man, it's a hard position to ask you this because you are the sole creator of this. I called him that day just to tell him what was going on, and the one thing me and him we went back to, and I want to read this before Carter responds because this is the statement that Acadiana Cast puts out. All right. Acadiana Cast is a for-profit, first of its kind, locally based podcast network that focuses its content on the Acadiana region via local content creators without the oversight that traditional corporate media faces. Acadiana Cast, at its core, a free speech platform, Acadiana Cast aims to create content for the people who live in the Acadiana area by the people who live in Acadiana. Acadiana Cast will be fully autonomous. There will be no corporate influence on what conversations are being had. We believe podcasting through Acadiana Cast will give many people in the creative space an outlet to make more money. Acadiana Cast will be the first platform of its kind in the greater Lafayette market. No other entity like us exists. We are new media. We are Acadiana. Join the movement. That statement in itself, we are a free speech platform. So what is your take? Well, how did it make you feel that somebody on our network, because I told you from the beginning it makes us look bad. I had a conversation with Brian. I said, dude, well, how are people going to expect to come on the show now without fear of being canceled now? Like, how does that make you feel as somebody who's openly told us, y'all, I don't care what your political views are. That's the first thing you told me and Maddie. I don't give a damn what you think. Y'all going to get along because we all have a common goal to reach.
Well, it's a very loaded question.
I know.
When it comes to the things that you outlined earlier that he did on social media, you know, I don't condone putting other people's information. I'm also very much against actively trying to cancel folks by attacking, going to their jobs, going to their families, things like that. I don't agree with it. However, when it comes to the podcast, he's still going to be on here. So will UnWoKeN, so will the T, so will the Art of Business podcast. Go check that one out, by the way. That's one I host. acadianacast.com. But when it comes to the whole thing, I'm Switzerland without the socialism, right? I got to stay kind of down the middle. I don't like to see, it was kind of fun at first seeing you guys go back and forth and kind of generating some buzz for Acadiana Cast. It was kind of like the little devil in me just stirring the pot. But, you know, I don't ever want it to get to the point of violence. Acadiana Cast is actively against violence in all forms. But as far as your ability to create a show, whatever it is, do it. Come on down. But, you know, I'm not too comfortable with the personal attacks on social media, in person, wherever there might be. But also, that's not my place as CEO and founder of Acadiana Cast to step in there. And you're a grown-ass man, so you handled it the way you did, and that's that.
Yeah, and my goal, I don't want him to be canceled. I don't want anybody to ever get canceled. I want you to have a taste of your own medicine now at this point, because now, how do you combat this? How do we combat this? Because obviously what we've been doing hasn't been working. So the best way to give them a dose of it is to let everybody know what you're doing now. Let everybody put all their shit out there now of what you're doing. Who are you attacking? Because you're in South Louisiana. This ain't California. This ain't a liberal city. As much as you want to think the art is close to it. Freetown ain't as liberal as everybody thinks it is.
No.
Not at all. If you try to cancel somebody in South Louisiana and you're on the wrong side of things, it's going to bite you in the ass like this is. Because right now, this guy is very close to being lawsuits. Not for me. I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to be scared shitless, which you should be. You attack. Look, if this man was to ever call my phone, I don't care what I was doing. I don't care if I was in the middle of intercourse. I'm picking up that damn phone. These are important people, and important people to me that have done a lot for me. So, dude, you fucked up, brother. You fucked up.
Also, let it be known that everyone who signs contracts with Acadiana Cast are fully responsible for whatever they say on their podcast. Acadiana Cast has no liability. Hopefully that stands in court. Please don't sue me. I'm trying my best.
Well, what did I say that could be used in court?
Oh, nothing.
Oh.
That's just for the general public.
Oh, the general public?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I am the unsilent majority, Big Mouth. So, that's my, it's my favorite line ever in a movie. But besides, you're gonna need a bigger boat, just like Rocky IV. Rocky and Drago right there, and what's his name? Comrade Big Mouth starts saying, "This is more typical and rude behavior towards visiting foreigner." Oh, what does he say? This is more violent and typical rude behavior. Paulie goes, "Whoa, violent? Hey, at least we don't keep our people behind a wall with machine guns." He goes, "Who are you? Who am I? I'm the unsilent majority, Big Mouth." Favorite line. It's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful.
Paulie was great.
Paulie was fucking great.
He was great.
That was so sad. I mean, spoiler alert. So sad whenever Rocky's like going in the older movies and dropping off a little pint of whiskey at Paulie's grave.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to drop a spoiler alert for a 40-year-old movie.
No, we're not talking about Rocky 1.
Oh.
We're talking about Creed.
Oh, Creed. That's right. Oh, wow.
And Creed at that point,
Adrian.
Adrian too.
Mm-hmm.
You never want to see the characters pass away.
Yeah.
But it's just like, boom, okay, they're gone, and shit.
So
we didn't even get the old, that old goodbye, that good warm something by the bedside, or something traumatic happens, whatnot. It just picks up years later.
I have bad news. Speaking of that, my cup, formerly known as Bubba, the big tin cup that I have with the blue cap and the green cap, Bubba was left on top of my roof after beach volleyball, and I tried to go back for him, but they had cut the grass the next day.
Did you find it?
Dude, I was driving and I realized it, and I could not. It was so busy down the Shemam Metairie extension after everybody leaving the park. I literally felt like Tom Hanks in Castaway
when he lost Wilson.
I legit, Bubba was my Wilson. He went with me everywhere. I was devastated, dude. I was legitimately devastated.
Please tell me you were riding by yourself, right?
Yes.
Please tell me that you rolled the window down and reached out the window.
Oh, I yelled,
Bubba!
Dude.
If I was riding by, hell, if I'd have been riding with someone, I had to play that out because that would have been in my mind too.
And I parked at Corner Bar, and I started walking back, and my friend goes, bruh, you cannot walk at night across Shemam Metairie right by the sports complex.
No.
I called my mom and said, Mom, Bubba's gone. Bubba is somewhere right here. She goes, I swear to God, if you try to cross that road, you go get that damn cup. Bubba didn't even have a handle on him. All right? I knew he was old. He had a lot of dents, but he stood there and he held all the liquids there. He did not let a single drop of whiskey go. Bubba was a good cup. We will be having a formal ceremony for Bubba. I will kill you. I will freaking roast you on the tar pit. I will roast you on the tar pit.
That's great.
Well, as you know, like a phoenix, you're gonna have another one rise from the ashes, right?
Most definitely.
Not anytime soon.
Yeah, it's one of those things. That's
Still in mourning.
I'm still in mourning. I haven't been able to find a different cup. I have been drinking out of pints. I will reuse a pint. I will put water in a pint. I will not use another cup.
Expect the unexpected, my friend.
Well, let me.
When you least expected, one is going to step up.
I'm a horrible person. I cannot believe I felt that shitty over an inanimate object, dude. I felt so bad.
That's wild.
What was Bubba made of?
Steel.
It was one of the old model steel.
Yeah,
like almost a coffee.
Yeah, but dude, the bad thing was they cut the grass the next morning, so they had to check, and somebody has Bubba.
Either that or like
I gotta make flyers.
I mean, look, I wouldn't hesitate to go back and look because either that or if Bubba's one of them old style ones, they might have think they hit a piece of concrete and went, nah, fuck this, I'm gonna pick my blade up and scoot over a little bit.
No, they legitimately cut that grass, dude.
So there's no hope.
There's no. I can put out flyers, but I mean, I doubt anybody wants a handleless big Bubba keg.
Well, I don't think they're gonna give it back if he's that great. I mean,
I'll find him.
Well, so far Scotty has been angry. He's been sad on today's episode. Let's try and bring some good vibes, right?
Oh, I got plenty.
So I got a question because you were mentioned earlier that both of y'all worked at Grant Street, right?
Yeah,
Grant Street Dancehall. I need to know because you were a bartender. Were you a bouncer?
Yeah.
Okay. Like who are the different types of people you see on a night-to-night basis? Because it's probably just like it just recycles like.
Oh,
you want to handle this one?
Golly.
Well,
you have like the frat guy, you have the drunk sorority girl.
That's what the funnest part of my job in particular were. And my job compared to his job, two totally different things. He has to be vibrant and life of the party anyway. I mean, we all know Scotty. He's a great dude. Life of the party. Not scared to just be out there with things, and people like that are well liked. I mean, that's why I became your friend from the jump. You had the utmost respect for you. So just, eye to eye, man to man, like you really are. You're a good dude.
I love you more than life itself.
Yeah. No homo.
Shake and bake.
No homo.
Shake and bake.
So, from my perspective, everyone that come in there on different days, all right? So from what I can remember, the Wednesdays, it's like every night was college night, first off, all right? Because downtown has turned into this thing to where it's going to go from the 18-year-olds, and I'm looking at you, 14, 15, 16-year-olds that are fucking coming out there with, fake IDs trying to pass that shit off on us.
That was the best part.
I mean, now the keg you could do that because it was so goddamn dark and they really didn't care.
But we looked older than they do.
This generation of day, though. Yeah, you're right. But no, so just different nights. So from what I remember, the Wednesday nights were like that's frat night.
Yeah, t-shirt night.
Night, and these guys, they would get deals coming in. You bring X amount of frat brothers or whatnot, and sorority girls as well. It was a promotion thing, which I think I'll give Merrick a shout out. he did a phenomenal thing, and he's doing really big things with the Bulldog now. I mean, he blew it up, and you know, the man knows what he's doing with everything. And the marketing gimmicks that he would do to try to bring it back. That's what he was just trying to create a buzz around downtown and around Grant Street, which was his at the time. So the frack thing on the Wednesday nights, very seldom we'd have Thursday night stuff. And his big battle was Friday nights, trying to win some of the customers away from the other bars because everything downtown would be open Friday nights. So you get the frack, you get the sorority, you get the tough guys from New Iberia, okay? And I mean, every time they would show up, they'd at least show up 30 deep thinking that, you know, something's done. We are definitely going to handle something. And by the end of the night, you know, it was a somber mood for them getting chased out. Like, huh?
You know how you could tell they were going to fight because they picked up their invisible caissons every time they're about to swing and they crank that thing up like they're trying to crank some kind of freaking fishing pole, whatever you want to do with that.
And you didn't hear 10 words out of them all night at the club, but that's also when you knew they were going to fight because they talk more than anybody I've ever heard talk before an actual fight in my life.
Wait, some of them didn't talk?
No, I'm like in the club. They don't say shit. They walk around, they drink, they play the cool role and everything. But, boy, when it comes down to something's going to go down, yeah, and no punches were ever thrown.
Can you see it in someone's eyes walking into the club?
Most definitely, you know. Okay, so from my perspective, that's another thing. You can tell when someone, and they have them, that age, not so much, but they have them just because of that typical bullshit, you know, teenagers on fucking hormones or the guys that think they're thugs these days. It's different than when it was whenever I was young.
They're free adults for the first time, right? But they're still babies.
That too. You know, and they walk around with their little cliques of people, or, you know, you got one of them that's probably the popular kid in fucking high school that just got out and they're probably not in school, in college anymore, and they're running the city or whatever the fuck they do. And they come down there to try to promote, you know, whatever it is, extracurricular bullshit.
Get their Snapchat on the back of their truck.
Most def.
Yeah.
You can't be cool.
You
can't be cool without the little fucking ghost.
And then they had their invisible trailer behind the truck. Yeah.
God, that kills me. Get me off on a new subject. And man, so you have all those. Now, the funny ones, okay, because when I was bouncing the whole time, I was married, okay, and my soul, I'm not like a bunch of those typical bouncers, which a lot of them are either frat guys or they're people who have been doing it for a while, but they're still 22, 23, 25 years old. They're probably bodybuilders or something. And it's just an extra means of fucking their nightlife trying to create money.
And fuck.
Yeah. You know, really.
That's why I got into the
did their thing. At my time,
that's why I started bartending.
At my time when I did it, it was a position that I needed the extra money. I was down and out in the oil field. I was working 3 jobs, so that wasn't a fucking nightlife thing to me. You know, I had a wife and kid at home. 2 kids, I'm sorry. I'm sitting there, and these little girls would come walking up, and they try to flirt and this, that, the other. I've got a fucking daughter your age, probably in the same goddamn school, half of y'all. And you think that trying to get at me or get in the club free or get free drinks and shit, and that's your approach that you're going to take to me? Get to the back of the fucking line. And then it would break their shy little hearts whenever you would bust that ID. And the biggest thing, well, no, of course it's real. Oh, really? What's your fucking address? Or how tall are you?
Got him.
Or what color eyes do you have? Because those motherfuckers aren't blue. And they still have the balls and audacity to back it up after as if that's really them. Like, it's the best ever. And then, if you remember.
Nowadays, they might be able to get away with it.
Yeah, well.
They may have changed their gender, or they might have had reassignment surgery.
I haven't looked at the new licenses. I haven't had to update mine lately. Is there a, is it still male or female, or does it go?
I think you can put non-binary.
What the fuck?
Because you know what I'm going to change mine to? I'm going to put Lord Scott Davis, because I can legally do that.
I'm going to go.
I'm changing my name to Lord Scott Davis. I can legally do that.
I told somebody the other day, I work in the oil field. You know, we're a bunch of fucking idiots out there. And I told them, we were talking about reincarnation.
I believe in it.
Okay, I believe in it very much too. And we were joking about it. Okay, we weren't having a serious conversation. And one of them said something because we deal with down there. We deal with the bugs and stuff, and one of them was talking about, I want to get reincarnated as one of these fucking bugs, and I will come and just, like, I am going to aggravate the shit out of somebody to the point to where they try to fight me as a bug. Okay, I know that's stupid, but no, but I mean, you got to understand. Out there, these things are hitting you left and right while we're doing the things you're doing, and you literally get so pissed off at them, you forget what you're doing, and you start swinging on them as if you're going to actually catch it, you know. And so he said that, well, he said something, and then another one of my partners said something, and the third one was like, I'm coming back as a female. And I'm like, hell yeah, typical fucking male question. If you were a female for one day, what is the first fucking thing that you would do, okay? And that's not the all right, and so we start joking with him about that. And, of course, I turn around backseat. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to ask you, what is the first fucking thing that you're going to do if you come back as a female? He said, I'm going straight to the DMV, and I am going to tell them that I'm female, this, that, the other, but I identify as a male, and I have a wiener. I was like, why the fuck would you do that? He said, just to know what it's like to fuck with all the rest of the fucking idiots out there. And, you know, with the simple fact that I'm a male. I have a penis. You know, you're a female. You have a vagina. It's as simple as that. They'll make arguments and everything, but that's what my belief is. And like I said, hey, look, I don't get big into the politics. You know, it's as straightforward as what the Bible says it is.
I got a mind fuck for you, okay, for both of y'all. Say you could come back as any female, any girl, the hottest girl you ever thought you've seen in your life. All right, what's the number one thing? The number one thing I gathered is that you'll take nudes and you'll send them to your phone. But
send them to the boy.
But think about it this way: if you were to send those to yourself, you'd be looking right back at yourself in that mirror. You'd know that was you that sent the nudes to you, and you were in the body. It wasn't her. Would you really be able to get off to that? I sure as hell wouldn't.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You had me confused for a second, but I guess
so. You were in the female's body,
right? But it's still you.
But it's still you. It's not her.
Is that part of reincarnation? Where
no, I was just
I don't.
It's one of those mindfuck questions you got to ask yourself if you're talking about how guys. What would you do if you were able to be in the hottest girl you ever thought's body?
I think you just fucked your own mind.
Oh no, I'm just being serious. I'm too intellectual with that shit. I'm like sitting there. I'm like, unless it's her sending me this shit, no way, boy. Like I have to know it's you. Like you were wanting to send me this.
I don't think I could take it that far.
It's like if you're really watching an adult film, like why is he delivering that pizza there? Why can't she afford it? If she can't afford it, why did she order the pizza? You know, you gotta have the backstory.
Do you like story?
It depends. I've actually swayed away from porn.
It's probably a good move.
I mean, dude, I've never been one who really needed, like when I was younger. Oh yeah, dude. Oh, for sure. Once I discovered that, oh yeah.
You see, and when I was younger, it was one of them things. I think my take on it is now. Look, I've watched it. Don't get me wrong. Fuck. Okay.
Oh, everybody has. Everybody still does.
But I think my take when I was younger is, boo, I can't touch it. Okay. And then as I got older, it's the same thing. And look, a lot of guys look at me. I'm in the fucking oil field for my life. Okay. And I hate strip clubs.
So do I.
I do not like strip clubs. And it's not for the fact that, you know, just a simple fact of, oh, I can't get any pussy there. I don't need that, okay? It's, why would I go to a place or something like that to people who have standards that low? And I'm sorry, look, if that offends people, because, hey, look.
We don't apologize.
Hey, okay, no apology then. Because they have people who, that's their life. That's how they make their, that's how they make their money. And to each their own, I'll say, in that manner. But me, myself, I am not going to go into a place of that and demote my own morals and my beliefs and whatnot to go and watch somebody demoralize themselves and have zero cares in the fucking world. On top of that, well, not on top of that, I think the only benefit to doing something like that is to watch the other fucking yahoos give money and actually think at the end of the night or at the end of their time that they are going to get something out of it and empty their fucking pockets. I work hard for my fucking money.
It's like bartending.
I work goddamn hard. I would much rather give my money to my girlfriend, to my grandchild, who I have now, to my 2 kids still, okay? Rather than to go and spend time doing that bullshit.
Here's my theory. I don't agree you should get the car started if you're not going to drive it. Nope, that ain't happening.
No.
But that brings in something that's very, very controversial right now. This OnlyFans kick. Now, we've talked about it before, and I've had some people get pretty pissed off at me about it. I believe that the reason a lot of guys, this younger generation, porn is more accessible for kids that are younger.
Well, of course it is.
Than ever was for us. Like, see, I had a stack of Playboys, dude. I had a stack of Playboys.
Scotty's old school.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, that's the way that you had to do it. You got
Marilyn Monroe. My dad saved me the Marilyn. Happy birthday, Jeffrey. Oh, my dad saved me the Marilyn Monroe version. I have that thing sealed, locked away.
That boy got it put away like a fucking King Griffey Jr. rookie baseball card.
I got Michael Jordan.
There you go.
Yeah.
Same level of care and protection.
Most definitely.
with like I'm never going to
with the
sell
exception
that.
of the few pages stuck together.
Oh no.
But look, that goes in the.
That's kind of harder to do.
That goes into everything these days. They have everything more accessible. It comes along with technology.
But
okay?
that's a problem.
I mean, fuck it. Whenever I was growing up, how old are you now?
27.
Okay, I'm 40. I'm about to be 43. Okay. We were lucky. When it came to porn, it was out there. It was all over the fucking place. But to be accessible, you had to fucking somehow, some way, somewhere, you had to get a VHS tape.
Stifler.
You know, and have two of them to where you can dial them in together and record the one that somebody stole from the fucking movie store that you went renting it from. And that was the only accessibility. But with technology and with the phones and with everything else, I mean, shit's all over. You can Google anything you want, and everybody knows that, and it's going to bring. I mean, hell, you can even Google dick pics, this, that, the other, and boom, you don't even have to send an authentic dick pic anymore.
No, you don't. I know a few girls that literally they don't send any face pics. They go find a girl, and it helps if you don't have tattoos, but they go find girls who have similar body types to them, and that's what they post. Now, here's where it becomes an issue because being that, look, man. Go out, make yours, make your money, all that. Somebody asked me the other day. They said, "Man, so are you still set on if you had a girlfriend you wouldn't let her do OnlyFans?" I said, "Dude, feet pics and all that. Fuck it. You want some dumbass wants to pay X amount of money for your feet to look at your feet?
You know how much?
Oh my God, go ahead, please. Just go. I'm gonna Andrew Tate this thing. I'm going to Andrew Tate this thing.
Those old fuckers that have nothing better to do with their money."
Oh, I mean, but the thing is, you got to ask yourself now. These girls that do the OnlyFans, and you know why OnlyFans is so successful? It's because you know those girls, and you still in the back of your mind have this kind of kink or fetish that you know this girl, and at some point in your life, if she was hot enough, you have fantasized about it.
It becomes personal.
It does become personal.
It becomes personal,
and that's why a lot of kids now you're starting to see how no guys sex. Let me tell you something. There's a study that shows more than 60% of men have not had sex in 1 year.
I believe it. I actually work with two of them.
Brother. Brother.
And it astounded me.
Let me tell you something. That is so important. I believe that is so important to you as a man. That is your primal instinct. If you are attracted to a woman, you make your move. If you combine, you combine. I'll be honest with you. I have not gone more than 2 weeks over the past 5 years without having sex in a week. I mean, I'm serious. And you know why? Because I take 3 months out of the year, every year, and do that no-fap challenge. No masturbation, nothing, semen retention. You have to learn that it sucks, dude. Like, man, I'll be honest with you. It's 7 days. So you start off the first 7 days. You peak, but you plateau all the time. So it's a never-ending cycle. And what's that lead to? Blue balls for us. And blue balls suck, dude. Like, ladies, I don't think you understand whenever we say you give us blue balls. I don't really think you understand that pain. That really is painful.
It's one of them things that...
But what I want to say is 60% of men not having sex in a year, that's bad, man. Because now porn and OnlyFans has taken their minds to where, okay, I can get off that easily on this. and I don't have to go out and put forth the effort to try to talk to a girl. You're having this preconceived notion of women now that whenever you do meet a girl and you try to pull all these freaking Jason Love sex moves on them, which I told Jason whenever he won the adult male film star of the year, I said, dude, honestly, I didn't know you were a porn star. I've never seen any of your work because it's not my thing, but congratulations, brother. And he said, oh, I got a picture of this. I said, bro, if you hit somebody over the head with that thing, you're going to kill him. I mean, you will.
For those of you who don't know, Jason actually. Ooh, if you want to know that part of it, just go
look up Jason.
Jason's a good friend of mine. Actually, my son freaked out whenever he found that out, and he's like, "Oh, you're lying, bullshit." I brought up Jason's number in my phone. I FaceTime, you know what? But Jason Love is a guy that used to bounce with myself. Scott's worked with him. He's an old school Lafayette guy, surrounding area that used to bounce around here, and he just blew it up and is one of the most successful ones these days.
TikTokers too.
Matter of fact, he's retired now.
Yeah, no.
He's done it for such a short period of time, but blew up so great that he doesn't even need that. It's all the promotional stuff and everything. Yeah. So yeah
and one of the most authentic human beings you ever met.
That dude's so cool. He is so cool.
Well, it would bring it back. I think with OnlyFans, the access to pornography, social media, it all. This is a belief that I've been holding for a while, and it's kind of one of the reasons I started Katie and a Cast. Our society has a attention problem, in that there we go. My camera went off for a second. Our attention spans are so small, and it's instant gratification. That's what I meant to say. We have an instant gratification problem, and that's why I believe in podcasts, because you go through social media and it's just like boom, 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 boom. TikTok is especially cancerous for that. I think human beings crave just something to get away from that instant gratification, like a long form conversation like we're having right now. I think humans crave that. That's why podcasts are so successful. It's why people like Joe Rogan are so successful, because in this world of just instant gratification, we have an outlet for we can go back to what humans are supposed to do: just communicate together, be in person with each other, and not have work for what you want. Like you're saying, that's why you don't do you do the no fap thing for 3 months.
No, that doesn't include sex though. That includes no masturbation. Just no masturbation. You can reward yourself with sex though.
I've heard of that, but I've never.
But here's the thing though. But that's brilliant because it is 100% accurate. A lot of podcasts, especially like this one, we don't come into this thing with a set agenda.
An agenda, yeah.
Yeah, we literally wing the majority of the show. We have an idea of what we're going to come in and talk about.
Right.
Which, in all reality, I don't think it makes it fun if we come in with this damn set schedule.
I don't have a fucking clue what you're ever going to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, unless I come. Let's
rephrase that. I know agenda to talk about, and we're gonna wing the rest of it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Basically.
I asked him before the show. I was like, "Hey, look, all right, do we have a set something right there? Well, look, I'm gonna say this right here, and then we're just gonna fucking go. All right, cool."
Unless I come in on days like today, and I'm like, Carter, I'm pissed.
Coming in hot.
Coming in hot. But I think that back to the instant gratification. If you're able to get off that fast, man, it eliminates any kind of goal or ambition you have of that woman, or go and find a woman if you can reach a bella danger like that.
Well, it fucks with your dopamine and whatnot. Like when it comes out that quick and you don't work for it, there's just a quick reward. It screws with your ability to be a functional human.
So let me ask this only single person here, because I'm not going to get you in trouble with this question. Mr. Simno, if you were dating a woman and you somehow stumbled, because I really think this is going to happen in the future, that kids are going to stumble upon pornography of their moms, because there's so many of them doing it.
You're talking about the ones that are in the business.
No, I'm talking about the OnlyFans girls.
Oh, okay.
I really think it's going to be a bad thing, and a lot of guys are going to be at the barbecue.
And they have so many websites where they leak all these things.
Yeah, dude. To say that, to think that you are safe because you have that disclaimer. You know that disclaimer for OnlyFans, ladies and gentlemen? That disclaimer only says that if somebody tries to repost your pictures on OnlyFans, they'll take them off because they already have yours. That doesn't stop them from posting it anywhere else on the World Wide Web. Okay? It just they have VPNs now, by the way. I want to hear your answer on this one. If you were dating a girl, like say you're 4 or 5 months in at this point.
Okay.
Somehow you get sent a file from one of your buddies saying, dude, you got to look at this. And you stumble upon a few porno videos of your girl, and she never told you about it, and you had to find out that way. How would you react?
At first, I would think a lot of jealousy would naturally just come into my body. But I'm a pretty empathetic person, so I would at least try and have a conversation like, where were you at in life during this? What kind of regrets do you have?
Let me kind of piggyback on that because you're going into it. I'm curious also, you get to that point, is it past, does your view on it change if it was in her past or if it's still happening?
Oh, no. If it's still happening, that's not if it's still happening.
No, because if it's still happening and he doesn't know about it.
Oh, that's cheating, though. That's cheating. He's not going to stay with somebody. You're not going to stay with somebody who's cheating.
Okay, so just to be clear,
Probably
something
not.
that was before you guys and
I would
she's
shove
done
my
with it.
foot up your ass if you did.
I'm not. No.
I would personally put you by your cassons if you did.
I probably wouldn't. But, you know, I'm down bad right now, so who fucking knows?
Now, where it becomes interesting, though? I would much rather, if that did happen, if I was on the receiving end, I would much rather the videos be of her and a guy than her and a girl.
If she was with you or if it was past?
Either.
Really?
Yeah. And if you ask any of my lesbian friends, they'll tell you that they'd much rather be with a girl than with a guy. Because, dude, think about it. Think about some of these guys that their girls leave them for girls. Dude, that has to be like the lowest fucking blow, dude.
I mean, in this day and time, I actually know more guys that have left their women for other guys. No bullshit.
Oh, God, we're turning the evolutionary clock backwards.
Speaking of that, I'm going to eat one right here. So last night I went to the Green Room, downtown Lafayette. I like that place because you can have a mixture of people. And it was karaoke night. You can have frat guys on one side. You could have goths on the other. You could have non-binary people just walking around with their blue hair and whatnot. But the point is, it's just a giant melting pot of people in Acadiana just going there to have a good time. And I like that aspect.
I don't like this melting pot anymore.
Hey, I'm open to all people.
I'm not anymore.
Not anymore. Well, so I'm closing out, and I'm talking to a fella, this bartender, and he's got great conversations, you know, good bartender, not like Scotty. And he, I was like, you know, you'd be great for my podcast because I would love to, like, hear the in and outs of being a bartender in downtown Lafayette and what that goes into it. And so he gives me his number on a napkin, and I accidentally throw it away. Well, I go to close out, and there's a female bartender, and the guy standing behind her. I was like, hey, can you get a homeboy's number for me? And she was like, yeah. And she walks away. And I was like, I'm not gay. As like a joke, as I get nervous energy, and I like to make something funny out of any awkward moment possible. It's a bad quality of mine. Ask any of my exes. And her face was just like, yeah, I wasn't fucking asking, dude.
It became more awkward.
Yeah, and then I was like, I don't know why I said that. And she's like, sounds like you got something going on with you there, buddy. And it's just like I walked away with my tail between my legs, just like think of telling my buddy and his fiance that, and the entire walk to the car, they were like, gosh, you're gay. We all know it. Just come out,
buddy. Man,
just a
down the right passageway, man. But it just
Sometimes
I guess I didn't do a good enough job. Oh man, it's all right, Carter. I still accept you for who you are.
You can lead a horse. You can lead a horse to water,
but you can't force it to drink.
This was not an opportunity to continue. I thought this was a safe place. I thought this was a safe space, Scotty.
No. I will tell any guy. Like I said, I will. We were
joke of the day.
Hey, if I'm not on your ass roasting you, then I don't fucking love you.
Yeah, no, like that's a good close group of like boys, you know. Like if you're not absolutely just roasting each other every second that you get, with hints of.
You got to be able to knock people down and pick them up just a little bit.
I don't know, man. You know? Like my buddies don't like, they clown and whenever I start getting into it, they don't like it because like mine are just mean, dude. They're personal and they're mean. That's why I don't ever roast people back because I just say mean stuff.
And you say a lot for just constant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, listen, I've heard your roasting, okay? And now there's a difference between so many different ways to come back at somebody. Mm-hmm. The best are the witty ones, okay? And if I can't match you wit for wit and you outdo me, and I also have a fucking testosterone problem where I get pissed off and shit, then you just get to the point to where you can fucking press whatever little buttons you want and go, hey, y'all, watch this shit. Hey, you want to see Pappy get pissed? Hey, you want to see Pappy throw something? Hey, you want to see Pappy cry? What? And you could just sit there and dial up whatever fucking, different things that you want, because the people who are not, and it's not an attack on anybody's stupidity or whatnot. It's not stupidity. You just have some people that are better at it than others, and you have some people that can take it and dish it out, and you have some people that can take it but can't dish it out, or can dish it out but can't take it. Okay, and people that are witty, when they hit somebody, and they're just going, and then you hit them again, and they go, and then you hit them again, and they go. Shut the fuck up already. We get the point. That's what. If I were someone that was the witty one, I would keep fucking poking the bear. I got no letdown in me. I got no stop. I got no holdback. Like, this is just more fun. And you're gonna show me that you're getting pissed off at it, or are you getting bothered by it? Oh, turn the fire up.
Oh, dude. See, at the end of the day, whenever they're doing that, I'm sitting back usually by this point. Especially if we're watching games, I'm already just feeling good. And I probably have to ask you about 3 or 4 times to say it again so I can actually hear what you said. And by that point, you're probably just like, fuck this, dude. Oh, you're just fucking dumb, Scotty. You're fucking dumb. All right, well, you know what? I'm going to put your buddy calzones on the flagpole. And then go back to what the fuck I was doing. I'm going to make you repeat it about 12 times. I mean, that's what I'm going to do. If I don't feel like having to deal with you. But, dude, that's funny you say that, because I think there's only one. You asked about what it was like to work downtown. I think one of the best stories ever downtown, man. I think it was one of my last nights, and it was Mr. Jeff. You came back for a night because you were I think you were working at a bunch of different places downtown. Yeah, so you were finally back. I think it was my last Friday night there. T-Boy comes up to the bar, and his eyes look just freaking. Looks droopy. Looks very droopy. I'm like, dude, I'm laughing. This dude, you're done. Well, his partners are standing right there. That was that big 20-person brawl.
Oh, that was fun.
That was fun.
Oh, God,
dude,
that was fun.
Here's the thing.
Was that the one where you jumped from behind the bar? Oh, God, yeah. That was fun.
And I never did that, dude. I never jumped from behind the bar because we had big-ass bouncers that could handle their own. Well, I was just I said, dude, there's a lot of fucking people. This is a big fucking
We were
people.
thick. They probably had about 1,200 people in there that night.
Yeah. Like, this is one of those nights where, everybody needs to be full hands on deck. Well, I'm trying to break things up. Here's where you make a mistake with me. You hit me, or you touch my hair. But somebody hit me behind the head, and I didn't really like that very much.
Naturally.
For the first time in my bartending career, I got to pull a Pappy and grab somebody, drag them by their caissons out on the dance floor, and another person by their fucking neck, and throw them both to where they slipped on the ice and fell down the stairs.
So as someone who is side of Baton Rouge, the North Shore, and Covington, can you elaborate to me, and maybe the people who aren't from Acadiana, what a caisson is?
Your caissons are your draws. Your draws. Your boxers. Your briefs. The things that you wear right above your nutsack. That's your caissons. It's C-A-N, C with a bound down below 5. The C-A-N, down below 5, C-O-N-S.
That's for our French audience.
Yeah. Your caissons. It's kind of like.
So you're dragging this dude out by his draws.
Oh, yeah.
2 of them.
I was pissed. Dude, I was pissed. I was pissed. Like, you hit me. Look, I'm nice to everybody. You swung. I don't care who you were swinging at. You fucking hit me in the back of the head, and I had to adjust my hat. My hat is placed perfectly on my head during a period of time. with the precise amount of torque to handle rigorous movement. I have to go back in the mirror now and fix that hat. Not only do I have to fix that hat, I have to comb my hair back again.
Nobody messes with the dude.
I didn't like it, but it made it was very entertaining, man. That was for a last night, because that Mark won. That was the only time they never allowed us to drink, but I figured out a way about it. Gatorade bottle, Taka vodka. 17 hours, dude. You're shitting.
That's why he didn't want you to drink, was because he knew that he knew that they would start at 9 o'clock in the morning when they show up, and what he would do is he'd open it up. It's right there on the route. Okay.
Yeah, it's a long day.
I mean, he knew they would start at 9 o'clock in the morning and bring it all the way through fucking 2 o'clock in the morning when they would close. Not only with the people that were attending the bar.
What's the simple fix? It's a simple fix. You just don't stop drinking.
Okay, so something you don't know is that I was there that night. I do remember that vividly. So those of you who want to hear this from a third-party perspective, if you don't know Scotty back in the day, he looked like not in the face, just the roundabout perception. He looked like,
very round.
He looked like Mick Foley from wrestling, because he had a beard down to here, and your hair was about.
It was down to my waist.
Well, at one point, I remember when you cut it from your waist up to there, and I was like, "Holy shit!" You know, and the fucking shit was still on. So he would fix his hair, and he had the hat, like he said. I saw when it broke out, because I would stand up on the stage, and anybody that's familiar with Grant Street, the stage is here, and the bar is way back this way. Scotty had his own little post to where he stayed around that back corner. That was fucking Scotty's area.
Old road, man. The old road sign.
That's it, by the old road sign. I see everything break out, and it breaks out in that back area right there. And my first move is, of course, I gotta jump down, and I haul ass that away. Before I could jump down, he was scaling the bar. Now imagine Mick Foley scaling the bar. I will say this: you were worried about fixing your hat and hair after. It looked like that fucking slow-mo thing, just for a split second. It looked like the slow-mo thing from Baywatch when they're running down the beach and you see all the hair flying. Everything. I saw him in one leap over the bar, hat go cock, hair start waving. He lands, he snatches old boy up, puts him in a fucking chokehold, and then commences to dragging him out. And I think it was just for, I don't know if he felt threatened by old boy, so he just said, okay, fuck. I think it was just for general GP. He was feeling it by that point. He was feeling it. The adrenaline was pumping. He had old boy. He wasn't going anywhere. And he just snatches somebody on the floor. And that's a long way from the back of that bar across that floor right there. And so I don't know if you saw them getting pushed into you, or you just saw them. You had one hand free, and you snatched somebody else up. I think your thought process was probably, you see this big-ass brawl take place, so I'm going to go ahead and take one more out for Pappy and them, help him out. And he commits to just walking them that whole fucking way out the door. We got everything cleaned up, and I met him at the back of the bar, and that's exactly what he was doing. He'd come out the fucking bathroom, fixing his hair, getting it all back right, getting that hat back tilt down and everything. And at that point, I think he felt it so much, he didn't want to go back behind the bar the rest of the night. I think he wanted to come stand up on stage with us and kind of get that
Battle Royale.
Hell yeah.
I always wanted to jump off top of the bar, Cowboys. Well, I just always wanted to do
fulfilled that shit, with the exception, I don't think your feet fucking touched it. You scaled that fucker in one leap.
Bro, hey, look.
College athlete.
Dude, I ran the hurdles at 260 pounds. Imagine how funny that was.
You were 260?
Dude, I ran the 400 in track at 260 pounds, and I did the 100-yard hurdles.
God damn.
At 260.
All right.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, hell,
that caused a lot of ankle problems.
Hey, kudos to the big guys, too. I've seen a few big guys that got some speed, man. Shit.
But, dude, I remember it finally got to the point where I would run. I got to, so it was junior year, and I still hadn't lost the weight that I did. Now it's getting to the point where me running at 260 on the 400 ain't as funny to me anymore. And, I mean, I could run it in around 101 to 105 compared to freshman year. I could run it at a steady 56 to 58. which is still pretty good for 260. But
about-
I was getting burnt by 10 seconds, and at that point, whenever you're on the last leg and everybody else is at the finish line, I started just hamstring.
Oh yeah, you have.
And I faked about 3 injuries that year, and said, "All right, man, we're just gonna put you at shot put." I said, "I've been asking you to keep me at shot put this entire time."
I was gonna say, Coach would have had your ass. Quitters quit. That right there. Fuck that. That's quitters. But hell, man,
Fuck, no, dude, I
260
was
pounds
hurting,
running.
man.
I'd have gave you fucking race and having the galls to go and do that. So
And I ran the 4x4 relay too.
on the last leg,
No,
they put you on the
First leg.
Yeah, let's go ahead and give us a fighting chance to.
I mean, dude, why?
I like the idea of a coach's like whole job is based off if Scotty runs or doesn't run the 400.
Now, I mean, whenever I asked my dad, who was a track coach, I said, "Dad, how do you run the 400?" He said, "Son, you got to remember the 4 P's. You got to pace, you got to push, and you got to pray." I said, "Well, what's the 4th one?" He goes, "Keep praying." I mean, if you run that thing, I mean, dude, that is the hardest fucking race to run. I mean, look at these guys who run it. You ever saw USC's track team whenever they broke that world record? They're running that shit at 42 to 43 seconds.
I was about to say it's in the low 40s.
Yeah. That is insane.
Yep. Never put myself in that position.
They had a
I was a
good-
fast
Oof.
motherfucker. Fuck that.
I could run.
You
I
were
could run
260
fast.
in high school. I was 160.
I was 150 my freshman year.
I played college football.
Yeah, I know.
And my freshman year coming in from high school, I was, I think, 166.
Where'd you play?
Right here, UL. So, but 166. So I couldn't imagine. I mean, as big as I am now, I'd have been in the NFL if I'd have been as big as I am. But I was a fast motherfucker, and every time they'd ask me to run track, for what? Voluntarily? Fuck no.
Dude, my first spring football, the week before, my parents divorced. So I'm going into spring football. John Chavis is out there recruiting Fuquay and some other guys. Well,
For LSU?
yeah, whenever he's defensive coordinator at LSU.
Right.
Well, dude, we're running. They're moving me around to right guard, left guard, defensive tackle, DN. Well, whenever I'm on offense, if the plays developed a different way, I'm just hitting, dude. Your parents divorced a week before spring football. I don't care who you are, dude. You're 13, 14 years old. You are angry at the world. Like, you were really pissed off.
You're playing with red in the eyes.
So I hit our quarterback and knocked him out. Like, the coaches would laugh. They would laugh every time I PLA'd somebody. Well, my dad finally comes from his practice, and they're like, "Hey, man, Jeff, we love you so, man. He got a mean streak in him." He goes, "Yeah, that might be because me and Karen just divorced about a week ago." And our coach goes, "Oh, shit. Davis." He goes, "Son, you can't hit your own quarterback." I said, "Coach, he doesn't have the red cap on. He has a red vest on, son." He goes, "You're done for the day. Go stand in the corner." I said, "Coach, go stand in the corner." "You're done. Just go. Go. You're not practicing tomorrow."
You're about to hurt somebody.
Oh, I was wrong about Southern, man. Damn it.
we went to the predictions.
But UL.
Yeah. Okay. Well, wait. I want to know. I didn't see your predictions on the Southern game.
I had Southern by 2.
You shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me? I don't give a shit what kind of fucking elephant bullshit you got going
Dude,
on. You
straight
cannot
trolling.
Trolling is past. He cannot legitimately tell me. You know that bait that he keeps telling he puts out for people? That's exactly what the fuck that is. He doesn't firmly believe that with any bit of his being whatsoever. That Southern he did not. No, fuck that. You did not firmly believe that with any bit of your being.
App State beat Texas A&M.
Well, that's App State. App State has worked their way up, and they have a history of this shit.
Yeah, they're the FBS.
Southern has never in the history of history beat someone that they're not supposed to.
They put a man on the moon, right?
No.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
So what years were you at?
It was 98 to like 01. Yeah.
What were some of the any play?
Cat, I mean, hell, I got the fortune being out there on the field with people like the old school guys who are already through the NFL, Charles Tillman.
Stokely?
Ike Taylor. Stokely was there.
What'd you play?
Safety.
Oh, well, so you were with those guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I was a motherfucker, but they were more motherfucker than me. Stokely was there. So when I got there, Nelson Stokely, Brandon's dad, RIP coach. He was there as the head coach, and that was Brandon's last year. And then when Brandon moved on to the league, got drafted and everything, Coach Stokely retired, and then they had a new coach come in. But man, we had some amazing talent. I think it was misguided in the sense that they could have back in that day, the movement that they have nowadays, they could have started a long time ago. So before I had gotten there, that was their final years. Jake Delhomme was there prior. I was I don't want to say a big supporter of UL, but I followed them because one of the old school hometown guys, I'm from Crowley originally, that played there was Orlando Thomas. Okay, and Orlando was a big deal in Crowley.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Pussy. Just an ambassador Crowley. He was very prideful of being from there. The things that he did whenever he went to college. I mean, he was just one of those old school kids. And when he came through, and Jake Delhomme was there, and that was Brandon's first 2 years there, Jake's last couple of years, where they really started putting the offense on the map because between him and Rand, they were unstoppable. Jake was, Jake's a hell of an NFL quarterback in my eyes. And
Jake nearly broke my fucking hands, dude.
They had just gotten out of a conference. And so I think 2 years prior, or maybe a year prior to me joining, all the way through, I want to say it was 2004, 2005. It might have been a little bit earlier before they jumped back in the conference, which it was the Sun Belt. So those years right there were kind of misguided because, once Coach Stokely left, they had one of the biggest mishires in the history of fucking football. By bringing in a fella who, at his epitome, never even been a coordinator, and they brought him in as a fucking head coach.
This is where we hide out. This is where we put the bags over our head.
Yeah, and it was an unfortunate thing for the whole. Looking back in hindsight as a grown man that understands things now, they could have played that political game a whole lot different. But I think at the time it was a big deal. Nelson had been there for so long that they took away, and they tried to play the political game more than they tried to play, hey, we need to try to do what they're doing now, which is get back to the community, get the community back interested in it, and not just get the community interested in it, but back us.
Do you like the direction that the program is going in now?
I do very much. And listen, I went to UL, and I am a huge LSU fan. Okay, and I heard the debate that y'all said last week, and he had said, you can't be a LSU and a UL fan. Well, I disagree with that.
I hardcore disagree with that.
But just because of the fact that those are two, look, you're 45 minutes apart. They represent the same culture. South Louisiana, very prideful.
We aren't nauseating, though.
Listen, I'm not going to disagree with the fact that LSU fans, I can go to the post on the LSU fucking forum that I'm a part of.
Tiger Drive.
And I said it. LSU fans are the worst fucking fans in the world. And I am one of them. But it's like so many of them have, and we have a lot of great ones, but it's the ones that have that lapse in fucking reality in their head that, just the things that you guys were talking about. Coach gotta go. You lose one fucking game. What the fuck is this quarterback? He's fucking horrible. This, that, the other. I drew up all the stats for Daniels after the first game that we lost against Florida State.
He's the only reason they were in that game.
He is the only
29 yards.
Okay. Name one other quarterback of LSU football that would have drove us with the cool, calm, and collectedness on the last series. The cat was
Joe Burrow.
He was
maybe Joe.
No, say the only one would be the GOAT himself, which is Joe. Nobody's ever gonna stop. Nobody's ever gonna surpass number 9, and that goes for any fucking college. And it's not just being a homer as an LSU fan. Name me one quarterback, and they've had plenty of great ones. And I'm not saying there's not somebody that's right fucking there. Okay, I'm not saying he's here and everybody else here, but name one that had the career that he had both years and stood where he stood and won all awards across, wiped the slate with him across the board, and did what he did. Okay?
Strictly college.
Strictly college.
Strictly
college.
No bias on how they play.
If you fucking say Matt Leinart, I'm gonna throw this Michelob.
Three national championship games.
Matt Leinart.
2.
They lost the third one.
2003.
But But
That was
We went over
LSU
this.
and
We went
Oklahoma.
over this.
Matt Leinart
We went over this.
was a product of a very successful system that had the fucking dude.
Carson Palmer was before him.
Carson Palmer, he kind of set him up for success.
All right, let's take USC out of the equation then.
Well, don't take USC. You got the dude fucking Reggie Bush, okay? Because he was the fucking dude. And look, I wasn't a huge USC fan, and Reggie didn't have the career in the NFL that I thought he could have or should have had. But God damn it, he was the dude in college.
Give him back his Heisman.
Listen, those people who don't know and those youngers who don't know, like my son knew who Deion Sanders was, but he had no idea. I made him go back and watch that because I am a fucking huge prime.
Yeah, anything cooler, though, than that Reggie Bush, Fresno State
No.
That move right there is
that run against UCLA whenever he dove, though, and they have
yeah, but the thing is, you've seen that dive in the NFL. You've seen that same one. And it is an iconic dive, okay? Only him I've seen that in. But that move against Fresno was, I mean, for somebody to stop on it, that's Barry Sanders.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what in college.
That is Barry Sanders to. But when you get back, you had him. Hey, don't forget about Lindell White.
Lindell, hey.
Okay,
1-2
Lightning and thunder, baby.
All right. And you had the offensive line, you had the receivers and everything.
Dwayne Jarrett, Steve Smith.
You go back and you look
That's
at
why I
Burrow
said
and
great team.
But that's why I say it is that 2003-2004 team is the greatest college football team ever assembled.
But you know, he's talking about played
about-
Texas and lost.
Oh yeah, you're talking about 2000. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Good God, dude.
And and no, I will argue with you that 2002-2003 team is the greatest because you go back and you look at what LSU did in 19. They wiped the fucking table with all the awards, not just Burrow.
Yeah,
The
we're-
offensive line, the coach, the receiver, the linebacker, the DBs. You had all of the major awards go to that. They just should have handed the awards to the fucking team and went, here, you know. Now, it's not discounting. Look, they had a fucking great team, and it was one of them things that back in that day, you sit there and go, how can anybody ever fucking compete with this? This is what Pete Carroll has built here. How can anybody ever compete? And in my mind, at my age at that time, and I think it was 2004 when they lost to Texas?
2000. It was 2005-2006 season.
That was when they lost to Texas in the,
Because they had,
in the Rose Bowl, right?
It was for the dynasty.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And until that point, I'm going, who the fuck's ever going to beat these guys on a consistent basis? Now, every team's going to lose at one point, but who's going to beat these guys? And when Texas beat them, I'm going, oh, they're fucking human. But then it didn't take long after that. I think it was when Pete Carroll decided to go into the NFL not long, after that, how many years, that you see how much a coach actually means to an organization.
He bailed ship.
Well, I mean,
But
we can argue the same thing that Nick Saban bailed ship on us.
But
and who
Leinart-
benefited?
Leinart isn't the only one I'd say, though.
All right. Who would you put up there?
Are we going to talk about? Are we going purely off of stats?
I'm not just talking about stats. I'm talking about more so the stats and the fucking intangibles.
That
Burrow
it factor.
But hold up,
Burrow
hold up.
has got
Hold
that
up. If we're-
definition.
if we're
you
talking-
say across the board, the definition of an it factor, he fucking has it.
If we're talking, you just said Matt Leinart had all these weapons. Burrow had all the wide receivers in the fucking world. Like half of those throws that he made, I guarantee you, Justin Jefferson was the only player in the country that was catching that football. Nobody else. But that goes back to preparation. I will say this. I will say Joe Burrow is, here's what I'm going to say, he's the best ever in college football. The best ever at preparation in college football history. Talent-wise, I'm not going to sit here and say he's the best talent ever.
The reason I
The
say
best at ever preparing.
the reason I say the best talent, and I know we're not dragging it into the NFL, he's doing the same fucking thing at the
Preparation.
highest goddamn level
Preparation.
possible. And Matt Leinart never fucking came close to that.
No, he didn't. Matt,
Not at all.
I don't know what happened to him.
When Matt Leinart got to the league, and that's why I say I don't want to say he's a product of the system and take away his talents, because he was great, okay? But when you look at what Burrow's doing with the NFL, he's doing the same fucking thing with a completely different team. Yeah, he's got Jamar Chase, but hey, he's throwing the ball to fucking Higgins and he's throwing the ball to Boyd too. And he's got a heck of a running back and he's got the shittiest fucking offensive line in the league and he's still doing what he's doing. And Matt Leinart, when he got to the league, Now, and I get off of it, and like I said, I'm not saying it because it's a homer. I would say that if I was any other fan. The dude just had a fucking season. Look at Danny Werfel whenever he was at fucking Florida. Do you remember that? It was young. I can't remember what
He
year
was
it
99.
Cat, when Danny Werfel was at Florida, this was before Matt Leinart. Danny Werfel was, everybody just thought this is the second coming of bread. Like the sliced bread thing, fucking Danny Werfel was it. Everybody thought, and guess who? He ended up with the Saints. Yeah. And he was the biggest heap of dog shit that I've ever seen at the NFL level. He just there are some that blossom and they're great in the system in college, but when the game speeds up that much more into the pros, they just can't transition. But when you see someone like Burrow, and there's a lot of others. I'm using Burrow as a major example. You see that it factor. You can just see it in this guy's eyes. You can see it when he's on the field.
Speaking of that it factor, you said you played with Peanut Tillman, right?
That's a different breed.
Right. So did you notice that it factor? Was the peanut punch developed at UL? Or
it was something that they were very aggressive with or whatnot. But, yeah, I think even I've heard an interview with him whenever he was in the league. And him and Ike had went to Pittsburgh. I know they still were partners, and they had an interview where they were talking about whatever, and they asked him about the peanut punch. He was very, very aggressive in college, no doubt, okay? And that's what DB coaches, they actually appreciate. More so cornerbacks, you see it do it. Hey, safeties, I'm going to hit your fucking ass. That's what I was there. What a lot of people don't know is I had an opportunity to go play Major League Baseball at high school, and I turned that shit down because I like to fucking hit people. That's why I went to college, to play football.
Body.
But the cornerbacks especially, they get taught rip, rip, rip. Well, he just thought, listen, he was insanely strong for his size, too. I mean, he was not an undersized cornerback in any means. He was one of the top-tier cornerbacks that when the NFL started drafting, we're going to go with that size, a 6'1", 6'2" cornerback that can fly, still cover man-to-man, be strong enough to handle these big-ass receivers that we got. And he took it to the next level and started this peanut punch thing, which he just – it's kind of like – I'll go to another one at LSU, but the Honey Badger – they just have a knack for the ball. They know where it's at. They study the art of how people hold it, how do whatever. I know he watched certain film on people in the way that they carry things. So, okay, I can attack this guy. If he does come my way, I'm going to try to tackle him, but he carries the ball at this certain whatever. He leaves away. He leaves an out, and I'm going to fucking exploit it. And, they take it to a science, which is what great quarterbacks, great receivers, great just athletes in general do. And that's what he did. He took that shit to a science and had that it factor. You could just see it, but you could see that in any great athlete that's on that fucking level. It's amazing.
I didn't realize that he was drafted in the second round in 2003.
Yeah, he was a dog. He was. And, you sit there and you look at, you had him and fucking Ike Taylor in the same defensive backfield for 3 years.
And that's what you talk about, the bad coaching and direction of the program at the time.
And look, at that time, whenever they were there, it started coming up. But after, so you had Baldwin, and then you had Bussell. I think that was the first positive move that they made back at that time, was to bring Ricky Bussell in. Ricky Bussell came from Frank Beamer, Virginia Tech. Beamer ball, all of those things that Virginia Tech was very highly thought of. I don't think he ever won a national championship. They came close with Michael Vick when Vick was there. But to be able to play on that high level and be under that kind of coach, and Bussell was known very, very well for his special teams. And he came in and he started. So it was an instillment that he started. And I think their hires have been great. I wish they could have, just from a college football fan standpoint, I wish they could have kept boy that just left for Florida, because he could. But that's why you do. At a school like this, that's what you do. I know if I was a coach, that's exactly, you use a college like this to bring them up, and you bring them to the highest epitome that school could be brought to. I mean, because look, let's face it, a team like that, they're never, ever, ever going to be able to compete for a national championship.
So let me ask you one of the darker questions about football, because next week, how long are you in town?
When's your show next week? Thursday?
Next week we're going to try for Monday.
Right.
Monday I'll be here.
Monday I will not be here.
Tuesday
I'll be here.
Tuesday
I'm here.
All right, we're going to try for Tuesday, because I have my buddy coming in who played linebacker at Nichols. Mm-hmm. He is bringing his hyperbaric chambers to the house, because one of the big topics that me and him have been discussing, we both have problems, like shaking. Well, let me ask you this, because this is going to be leading into next Tuesday's probably going to be one of the really darker episodes we
I'm down.
highlight about CTE and about head trauma in football.
Yep.
Because one of the things that people don't realize is we talk a lot about NFL. High school and college players, the reason it hits them so quickly is because you stop that contact. It's like any kind of thing. It's affecting a lot of people. They did a study of 113 amateur athlete brains, because you can only scan for CTE when the brain's deceased. 99 out of 113 came back in high school athletes with CTE. Stage 2 and above. So the question was asked to me, so how old's your son?
Braden is 17.
Did he play football?
He did for a while, but he stopped after his freshman year. He was concentrating on baseball.
Yeah. Knowing today, so they developed a lot more technology than we had. If they still had the helmet technology that we had back in the day, would you have let him play?
That is a tough question.
If I got to be honest, if I had sons, I wouldn't let them play until the age of 13.
Well, I'll tell you this. Okay. Would I let him play at all? Don't know. Braden did not play tackle football. And look, he's looking at a dad that's pretty big, tough. I brought him up, to be a man, whatever. I saw no point in him playing until he was 13. I made it a point myself to be actually on the board at the old BYYA, which is the Brousseau-Youngsville Association, from the time that he was 3 years old. Actually, a funny short story, I snuck him in the T-ball at 3 years old. No, he's 5. He's fucking small. It's okay. He's my son. I'll be the coach.
Like the bench warmers have that little rolled up
yeah,
paper.
Yeah.
I am 12.
But then he was in T-ball again at 4, 6. Then at 5. Wait a minute, he's been T-ball too. Yeah, but he's really 5 now. There ain't shit y'all can do about it. So, I made it a point to be on the board the whole time. That way, whenever flag football, I think officially stops when they're like 10, something like that, or maybe 9, 5, 6, and 7 and 8, or 6, 7, 8, 9, some shit like that, to where tackle football gets introduced, at least to them over there. I'm not sure what Youngsville and Broussard separately do now, but it was around that age, and I'm like, no, I don't want my kid playing tackle football. I didn't care what the equipment looked like. So I made it a point to stay on the board, and I petitioned and I did things to where they had never before had a flag football team at the BYYA past whatever that age limit was. It was 4 years. I think it was 5, 6, and 7, 8, or maybe it was whatever it was. But after that, if you want to continue playing football, you could play football. And I petitioned, I did whatever, and they were like, well, you're going to be the only team. Cool. So I went and I spoke with other coaches with the other organizations that were bigger than us around Lafayette, CSA, Slice Eye, Brown Park, and we created a little deal because come to find out they had a hell of a lot more kids out there that either had no ambitions of wanting to play tackle at that time. And look, I mean, a kid at that age right there doesn't want to play because what contact or whatever the thing is, and at that age you don't want to call a kid a fucking pussy. I mean, dude, they're 10 years old. Fuck you, you little pussy. You don't want to play tag. You don't want to get hit. Come on, man, be real. And we formed a deal to where we had a number of teams across Lafayette, and what we would do was we would travel and play one another. And so we created like a little thing to where I did not allow him to play tackle football until he was 12 years old.
What about you, Carter? You letting your son play tackle football now?
Well, I don't know, man. Like I don't know about tackle, and I'm a long way from having a kid, most likely. But, but they have, and it's part of why you're seeing like these receivers come right out of college, like a Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and been on 7 camps that they have, and kind of getting away from. You have to play in a recreational or some sort of divisional tackle football league when you can just do like these 7-on-7 drills, flag football and whatnot. There's different get to that age where you start developing actual head-to-head contact.
Yeah. So that's going to be a heavy topic next week.
It's tough.
So,
yeah, it's definitely up to the parent.
Yeah. And I mean, look. We're going to dive more into that.
Yeah, save that for next week because that's a good point that you could bring in and we could, yeah.
Yeah, because we're at our time limit. Oh, man. How you liked it, bro?
I love it.
Sweet. So you'll be back next week.
I'll be back next week. I don't leave until.
Carter has a camera too, y'all.
I don't leave until Wednesday.
You switched it to your wave?
I did.
Do it again.
He's been flipping it back and forth the whole time.
One more time.
You got airtime. Hey, that a boy.
Folks, well, We did good today. We didn't really hurt anybody too much. I want to end on this note. Dumbass, I hope you learned a lesson. But thank you, Pappy, for being over here, my friend.
I appreciate you, my boy.
You're still my spiritual guru. Carter, you're all right still, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Well, folks,
You're not gay.
thanks for tuning in.
Not gay. Need that to be known to everybody.
Yeah, we need that to be known to all of
It's becoming a bit within like multiple friend groups. And it's getting bad. I might just lean into it. Fuck it. I'm gay now.
Look, I put that out there because you're actually putting yourself on film and people are going to see you. So I want to give you a shot. Bro.
Well, thank you for that. Not gay, folks.
He was like questioning why I wouldn't go to Balt last week.
Really?
Yeah, dude. He's asking me
You
why
wouldn't? I actually would.
See,
I think that would be fun.
have you seen videos recently? Like it pops off.
I have a few friends that I see it either on their Snapchat feed or I've seen whatever. Now, listen, I'm not talking about a constant every night deal, but hey, let's go get fucked up and whatever. As long as they don't mess with me or touch, do anything, whatever, I'm cool with it. It would be a fun little thing. If anything gets outrageous or out of hand, and they're like, hey, let's go ahead and slide the fuck out of here because it's getting a little uncomfortable.
I don't go to bars there.
Well, you're your own man, right?
Yeah, like corner bar.
Well, I'm saying you're
That's
your own
my
man.
bar.
You make your own decisions. Shit starts to get a little bit, uneasy. Then just go slide on out there. You don't have to.
Hey, you're a free man. If you're uncomfortable, get the fuck out.
My whole point is, why would I go there when I have corner bar?
I'm just saying.
Stanley Laurel.
Hey, listen. Back in the day, whenever I was bouncing and really into the weights and whatever, I had a few of them be like, "Listen, we know you're not. You won't get fucked with. Boy, you need to come and bartend. You would make so much money." And I'm not gonna lie, it crossed my mind a couple of times. I didn't do it.
That I wouldn't have a problem with bartending over there back. But
You probably get hit on more as a standing in there.
For sure.
Well, I don't know, man. Hell, yeah.
You have power when you're a bartender.
Yeah.
I do.
So you're gonna.
Dude, I didn't get to tell that story with the one time American Casey caught me bringing that
God.
going like sneaking away out of my shift to go to the bathroom.
There's been plenty of
Oh
those.
God, every single one. I think that was a rite of passage over there.
They got no doubt. They had so many of them to where I would make my rounds and I'd go back there, and when that door was doing whatever,
Until somebody broke it down.
yeah, Merritt made me break it down because of that. Hey, if you go back there one more time, because I'd make my rounds through that area and back up to the front, that way I didn't have to go through the crowd, and he'd tell me, you see that door doing whatever he did, and finally he was like, you know what, take that motherfucker off the hinges. I was like, with them in there? All right. That was Justin coming. Oh. I'm not going to say who, but yeah, It was great.
That lucky son of a bitch.
Oh, bro.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in to UnWoKeN, the number one podcast in the world for young conservative media here on the Acadiana Cast Network. God bless. Take care. And I'll see your asses next week.
This podcast is powered by Acadiana Cast Network. Go to acadianacast.com for more South Louisiana sourced content.